Well, hello. How's everyone doing today? Thank you again, Pandora, for the raid. I'm quite literally just woke up. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I woke up like 15 minutes ago. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, wait, hold on. I can't see it. 1 second. Thank you, thank you, Queen Satan, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, for those who may not have seen it, this is where you came so far yesterday. This is the sword. I had to recreate it today because I kind of sort of re-downloaded an older version of Blender that matches the course I'm following. Thank you so much. And I just did a quick thing of this. Honestly, it still looks pretty decent. It might actually look a little bit better than what I was doing last night. But hopefully, going forward, the courses will be a bit more, I don't want to say accurate per se, but just a bit more easier to follow, given the fact that it's the 4.2 version, not 5. But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started on making the pommel today. Okay, no worries, take your time. And again, thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate you. Oh god, I'm so it's like I'm just groggy right now at this point. Blah. And my voice is just my voice hasn't woken up yet. All right, we're gonna go into edit mode real quick, and then we're going to look at it from this way, I guess. Control R to make our thingy, and we're gonna drop it right dead center. Then from there, we're doing another one from up there. And let me see if I can get this. Okay, we're going to highlight all those, and what we're going to do is we are going to fill in the empty space here by pressing F. See? And just whatever is a hole is now not a hole anymore. I'm still gonna try to explain exactly what I'm doing, or at least how I'm doing it. I may not completely understand what it is that I'm doing or what it is that I'm saying, but I'm doing something, and that's all that matters. Then we're gonna go ahead and scale it and just sort of like make it a little bit smaller than what it was, like there-ish, maybe. I mean, I think that looks okay. And then we got it from here, maybe. We're gonna go and use our grab tool, and we're going to take the blue one and we're going to lower it just a little bit, like that maybe. I think that works. Essentially what you want is like a sort of nice even flow over it. So just to like, you know, make it look nice. Everyone can hear me okay, right? And the song's okay. It's not too loud. It's not too overpowering. I hope it's not. I kind of I raised the audio up. Maybe I can turn it up a little bit more, or actually maybe I can turn it up a little bit more in the thing. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's a little bit different than what I was playing yesterday, but I kind of was hoping that maybe, ooh, it might be a little bit too loud actually. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to also watch it a little bit myself, but I'm hoping that sounds okay and it's not too overpowering. Okay. Anyway, with that being said, we are going to take the inset tool, which is this one right over here, or you can press Shift Spacebar I to get it. I just click on it. And then we're just gonna take the edges and we're gonna sort of like shrink it down just a little bit. Like that, maybe? And then we are going to, actually, do you want, maybe that might be a little bit too much. Like maybe, actually, that's fine, I'm sure, right there. Then we're going to extrude it. And instead of going outward, we are going to go down about, about that. Like what did you say that is, like 25% way down, something like that, along those ways, something like that. We're gonna put it down. And while the center is still highlighted, you're going to go back to the inset tool and we're going to go ahead and create more of these segments. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. And we're gonna do this like I think 3 times. 1, 2, and then 1 more. And that last one, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna merge at the center, just like that, by pressing M, and then you just hit merge at center, and that's what we got there. Then once we do the let's see. Hold on, gotta go through the pages. Oh wait, it's not loading. Okay, there we go. We're gonna hit file, save file, save incremental, and then we're gonna take, oh no, I hit the wrong thing. We gotta switch over to faces. That's what I forgot to do. Hit faces, select these 2 right here. And then once you have those 2 selected, we're going to click on the extrude region tool, and we're just gonna pull it out a little bit, like right there. And while that is still selected, we go ahead and just switch over to our scaling tool. And going off on the x-axis, we're gonna grab the red one right here, and we're just going to kind of like squish it together like that. Then we're going to switch over to the second one, the one in the middle right here, to the edges. So the edges are currently selected, and while that's selected, we're going to switch to the grab tool by pressing G, or clicking, where is it? Oh, it's this one. Oh. Or by clicking this one, and you get that. I should also note, I do have an add-on that is making it easier called the Lazy Viewport. It's from the course. If you're able to find the Lazy Viewport add-on somewhere, I would highly recommend downloading it. It's extremely useful, as it just sort of like, it combines essentially the hotkeys to make it a lot easier, because without it, it just sort of like does a bunch of different things, but making it, it just like improves the quality of life.
Thank you, Dark Souls.
Oh, no, I don't remember what that was for. Hold on. Again, why? Thank you, but Wait, did that not go off yesterday? I don't remember that going off. Like, no, I remember I might have went off once yesterday. I don't remember. Oh my god, thank you. Again, you didn't have to do that, but thank you. While we have it selected specifically, we're gonna go ahead and select these top right here. Thank you so much. Okay, it did go off yesterday. Okay, I for some reason just straight up do not remember it going off yesterday. But if it did, I will take your word for it. Thank you so much. Actually, I think I might have forgotten something. Hold on. Maybe. Oh no, we're good. Never mind. Just wanted to double check something. You're welcome. Thank you so much for the shout out. Okay, so while we have the top two edges here selected, we're gonna go into the grab tool, take the blue one here, and we're just gonna shrink it down a little bit to make it look like that. So it's just sort of like, woof, yeah. Because, like, you know, every Blender needs sound effects. Then we're gonna go ahead and save. Oops. As I'm missing it every single time, that's fine. Save incremental. Then we are going to go back to the faces by pressing 3 or by clicking the third one up here. And what we're gonna do is we are going to select around here. You can do all of them at once by pressing Alt and just making sure that you click on, like, you know, closer to the edges so it goes around this way. If you miss it, it's just gonna go up and around instead of like in a circle around. And then you're gonna go ahead and select these two underneath. And once you have those selected, you're going to hit X and then delete the faces. That way you have that. And don't worry, it's gonna look really nice. Then while that is happening, you go to modifier and you're gonna look for mirror again. Same thing that we did before, except this time we gotta follow it on the Z axis, like that. And you can also get rid of the X one here. So turn off the X axis, turn on the Z axis, and then you got this. So now it just mirrors what's happening up here. See? Which is super nice. It's not too different from how we did the guard yesterday, where we had to delete half the guard, so we didn't have to, like, you know, make the guard twice, and it will be looking weird if it doesn't look exactly the same. Now with the mirror, you don't have to worry about working on both sides and having it be wonky or having it be off. The mirror just kind of like does it for us, which honestly might be one of my favorite modifiers, not gonna lie. Now with that being said, we go into object mode, and this is what we're looking at so far. This is how it looks, and I'm hoping to get the sword finished today, and depending on how long it takes us to do the sword, then we're gonna go ahead and scale it. We're gonna, like, you know, just make it look a little bit nicer, right? Yeah, actually that's probably perfect right there. If we finish the sword in a decent time frame, I might have to just kind of like shrink this a little bit, like that. Yeah. We can get started on the third course that I have. Technically it's 3 courses, but the next course is split into 3 separate ones. And by the way, if you see me stopping, it's because I like to talk with my hands a lot, which you can't see because my model doesn't have hand movement or tracking. But in the third one that's split into 3 separate courses, it's like the first course of the third one is just making the models and everything like that, right? The crystal ball, the table, everything goes on, books, candle, the candle holder, etc., all that stuff. The first section focuses all on that. The second section, the second course of that same project, focuses on UV and projections. And I'm not gonna lie, I struggle heavily on that one, but we'll see how I do now, going forward from there if it kind of like, you know, helps out or whatever. And then the final course is putting everything together and creating the video for it. It's one of my favorite ones to do. It is absolutely breathtaking to look at. It's just a lot that goes into it. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because I keep stopping. But it's really cool. It's labeled as an alchemist table project sort of thing, and it looks really cool. And when that one comes together, it's, oh my god, it's amazing. Okay, so we're gonna go make sure when you go into ed mode, make sure you have your this part selected. Go into edit mode. Once you're in edit mode, we're gonna go into the edge. Yeah, I just want to make sure I got it right. The edges. And then we are going to go ahead and we're going to choose this edge here. We are going to choose this edge, this edge, this edge. And then we're going to trace around here and go around the top part here. Thank you, Dark Souls. Bruh, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. You really are like, no, super awesome. Thank you so much. You really didn't need to do that again. Trying to do this without getting distracted again. We're gonna go ahead, select, and then we're gonna hit select loops. And then we have all the edges that are important to us that need to be selected. Oh my god, thank you. It's a panda rule. Okay, do you want? That's fair. But seriously though, you're like, like you're super sweet. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that does mean to me. It's never required to do that. I would never ask you to, like, you know, do that. But oh my god, it's thank you, thank you. We're gonna, okay, getting back on track. Sorry, I'm trying to get back. God, my brains. So, right, we need to make sure all those are selected by selecting edges. Then we go to the edge thing, and then we're gonna go down to edge crease, and we're gonna move our mouse all the way up until we have a value of 1. You'll see on Blender 4.2, it thank you. On Blender 4.2, you'll see the value in the top left hand corner underneath where it says edit mode. It says crease plus 1.000. That's what you're looking for. And then you're just gonna click, and then the edges have been more defined, more sharp. I don't know if sharp is really the correct word. It just kind of makes it a bit more defined, makes it more like out there, more noticeable. Oh my goodness. That is an adorable emote, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything like that. Like I admittedly I got it off of Etsy, but like it's one of my favorites. I love the hat with the ear emote thing. That one's adorable. And then once we do all that, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna shrink down the mirror thing. We're gonna look for a subdivision modifier, because you know it's never complete if we don't have a subdivision modifier. Then we're gonna take the viewport and make that a 2. Then we're gonna switch over to the object mode, and this is what we're looking at so far. Look, it looks so pretty. When I made, there are a couple times. Oh, thank you for the lurk, Raka. It's much appreciated. Every once in a while, whenever I make this, I get this like weird, like, you know, sharp point like around here. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but we are. That's where we're at. So now we're in object mode. Make sure that this is selected yet again. At least that's what I'm doing anyway, because that's what shows on the, of course. The app is being silly. Oh no, no worries, you're fine. Did you eat yet? We're gonna do file, save incremental. And then here's actually where it gets really cool, right? Essentially, for the most part, in terms of like its overall design, it's pretty much done. It's like everything has been created that needs to be created on here, from the blade to the guard to the handle to the rings around the handle to make it look nicer to the pommel. It's all pretty much done. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna go into the shading tab, and we're gonna give it a minute because for whatever reason, when you get over here for like the first time, it likes to take a minute. And on occasion, it might crash on me, but not always. I think it's just because there's a lot going on for it. Still cooking. Okay, what are you having, by the way? And can I have some? And come over and like, devour it, whatever it might be. I remember you made like a really awesome like crab boil that one time. Oh my god, it looks so fucking good. Anyway, so this is this shader thingy. This is where we're gonna add all the detail now to our sword. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna select the guard. We're gonna frame select that. And then it's just to give us a better angle. What we're gonna do is really first is work on the blade. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the blade. Then we're gonna come up with the principled BSDF. I'll send pics in the server. I'm making corn dogs, but using spicy mayo and bulldog sauce. And I made plum sweet. Bruh, I'm coming over. Just letting you know, I'm coming over, and I'm going to devour all of that. That sounds so fucking good. Hell, I will even do the dishes for you. I want everything you just said there. All those words that I see, everything that sounds delicious, I want. But if you're working on this and you don't see this, don't worry. What you can do is, I think it's Shift A. Right? Shift A? Yeah, if you do Shift A, you should be able to look up the principal BSDF and the material outputs and get those up. And once you have all those set, right? Oh, sorry, I lied. I'm being stupid. Don't do what I just said. Instead, you're gonna see new materials here. Just click on that and then you're good to go. You don't need to do a search for anything. You can just click new materials and boom, you get what you need. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is essentially a blind leading the blind situation, you know? Anyway, the metallic is gonna be at 1. And the roughness we're gonna put at 0.2. And as you can see, it already did something to the blade. It actually made it look like it's made of metal, made of steel, which is really, really, really cool. And I love that. But it gets even cooler because we're gonna add even more details to it. So we're going to go ahead and do file, save, and file, save incremental, just in case, because we don't want to have it crash on us and start all over again. So what we're going to do now is this is where we're going to hit Shift A, and we're going to look for an image texture. And here's our image texture. And I'm assuming that there's a website you can use. I don't know what the website is. Again, through the course, this is just what they give me through the course. I'm sure you can probably find some website to give you other materials and textures and everything like that. This is just what I'm given through the course. So if by chance you're able to find the same textures that I am, awesome. If not, if you happen to have other textures on standby, or you found other places to use to download and grab textures that way, it all works. Whatever you're feeling like doing, go right ahead. This is just through my course, and I'm just kind of going off from what I know. So we're gonna hit open. And then once we hit open, we're gonna go into our files here, go into texture, and this is where we're gonna have scratches. We're gonna choose the scratches JPEG, and I just double click everything, and it just automatically adds it into it. You can just do, you could just click on it, just click on accept or open or whatever. Lost for words, bless ya. Aw, yeah, it's really cool. Like it's gonna look like once everything is actually all like colored in and everything, it's gonna look amazing. Just wait. It's really cool. Okay, so once we have once we have all those in, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take the scratches and we're gonna plug it into the roughness. And as you can see, it looks weird. It looks distorted. Don't worry, we're gonna be able to work on that. This is where so this stuff here, whether it be in shading, geometry nodes, compositing, whatever it is, this is where things can get really complicated. So this is what I need to learn the most, because this is where all the big stuff happens. We're gonna go ahead, go down here to vector, pull it off to the side, let go, and that gives us the box to look for. And we're gonna go ahead and look for a mapping vector. We're gonna grab that, and it automatically connects to there. We're not done yet though. We gotta go from the vector here, click off of it, and look for a texture coordinator. Texture, there we go. And we're gonna look for the one that says generated. We're gonna click that into place. All right, so now we have these happening. What this does is that it just, like, if you look at the scratches on the blade, they look more deliberate, if that makes sense. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make it seem more it's not gonna look as blurred. You'll see what I mean in just a minute here. We're gonna go ahead and save real quick though. Keep missing it. Save, file, save incremental. And then I'm gonna scroll through this because right now in the course it's telling me about like UVs and stuff like that. Although I do understand it I understand it to a very basic level. But the next course they go through, or technically the next course, they go through it, and it's extremely, it's very complicated. Very cool, but very complicated. All right, so what we're gonna do is on the mapping, we are gonna go down to the scale, and we're gonna change the scale. Just click on it and hold, and just move down to highlight all of them. And you can do 0.250, and that will plug the number in for each axis. And give me 1 second. I have the thing wrong. It is object that needs to go in here. There we go. That's better looking. And there we go. And now we are going to apply the scale, is what we're going to do next. So while the blade's selected, you're going to see when we go into here, you're going to see the scale here. What we're going to do is that when we apply the scale, it's going to be it's going to essentially rewrite everything to where it's just the scale of 1. So while everything's selected, we're going to go to object, and then we're going to go down to apply, and then we're going to go to apply scale. And then it applies the texture that's on it applies the scale directly to the blade. See, just like that. And as you can see over here, it just made it all a value of 1. And that's what it's supposed to be. When you apply the scale of anything, it should, whatever this was changed to, whatever this was originally, it should automatically apply it to a scale of 1 in all areas down here. And if you want to, you can also play around in the location section here, like the XYZ, and you can move around the things and move around. You can move around the location of where the scratches are, as you can see there. But that is to user discretion. You can just do it however you want. It's not gonna mess anything up or anything like that. It's just to do whatever you want with. But it's also good to know that you can just kind of do that. Okay, now the next part, I think we're going to be working on, oh wait, no, I lied. That's right, we're going to add actually something really cool. So the sword, there's a lot to add to the sword, like to the blade itself. So we're going to actually add something that's really cool. And I think Rock will be very appreciative of this one because she loves runes. So what we're going to do is on the principled BSDF right here, we are going to go ahead and click on emissions. Then we're going to go ahead from color and branch out color here. And we're going to look for mix color. Yeah. And we're going to apply, put the mix color there for a minute. Then from A, we're going to branch out A and look for image texture. And we're going to look for the color. We're going to do that. Right. So now we have that. And now we're going to go from the vector. And we're going to look for mapping. Essentially what we're going to do is that we're just essentially doing almost the same exact thing that we did up here, but this time we're going to add runes to the blade. And I believe we also still have to add the texture coordinator as well. So let's add that in here. Texture coordinator generated. Boom, right there. Now that we have all that, we're going to go ahead and go into here. We're going to open. We're going to go into our Sword in the Stone file, open up the download file, the texture, and we're going to open up the runes JPEG. But you're going to notice like, oh wait, there's nothing happening here. That is because we need to increase our strength. And what we do is we're going to take that strength and raise it to well, 100. And then boom, look at that. You got runes on the blade, but we're not going to stop there, obviously. We're gonna make it look more, we're gonna make it look nicer because as you can see, one, it looks flat. It looks like, you know, it looks two-dimensional. It doesn't look very good. And also it goes off the blade, and we don't really want it to go off the blade necessarily like that. So here's what we're gonna do. First, again, we're gonna go to File, Save, and Incremental. Right, we're gonna go to the mapping scale right here, that the one that's attached to the runes, and we're going to go to the Y and we're gonna bump that up to 5. Right, it's all it does is just change the size of it, make it look like that, so it fits a little bit neater in the blade. Right, see how much nicer that looks like that. So then we're gonna go to color. And we're going to change the factor from 0.5 to a solid 1. And then we are going to change the color of it. And again, you can change the color to whatever you want. I'm just following by the book on how the course is doing it. I can change the color to whatever I want, but this is what they're going to have me change it to. So once you click on that, we're going to go to we're going to go to hue first. And we're going to do 0.5. We're going to go to saturation. And then we're going to go to 1, and then we're going to make the value 1. That way it gives us a blue hue that you can sort of see here. And you're going to see it better as the course goes on as well. Don't worry. So right now they just happen to like, you know, have like a weird blue hue to it. But what we're going to do next is we're going to go up into render, and we're going to turn on ray tracing. Might have to give it a minute because there we go. Ray tracing. And once we do that, we are going to, I think it's underneath here. No, we know it's underneath denoising. And we're going to turn off the temporal accumulation. I wish I can go into more detail as to what exactly that is. If I'm going to be honest, I really don't remember or don't know. It's either I don't remember what this was, or I don't know because I don't remember if the video I watched explaining this explained what a temporal accumulation is. But I'm sure you can probably like Google it and like ask. But sometimes I'm stupid and I need it explained to me like I'm caveman. But then we're gonna go into the sampling. Where's sampling actually? Sampling. It's up here, viewport. and we're gonna make the samples 128. Oopsies, 128. And then we're gonna go up here. The rotation, we're gonna this is gonna be 77.3 degrees. The world opacity is gonna be 0. Essentially what this is doing, right, is that this is just getting me ready to just take a screenshot of it, because again, it is a course and they do have a Discord, but the Discord is only accessible through their well, through the website. Essentially, like the website I'm using to get this course, once you purchase the course, then they give you the link to the Discord, and in the Discord you can actually level up in there. So like the first 3 things that you do, the Minecraft, the sword, the crystal ball, all of that you can put into the Discord. You can see like your progress, you can see everyone else's progress as well, but also if you have like any technical problems or whatever, you can also ask in the Discord as well. And as you level up, like once you do the courses a couple times, you just like let the mods know like, hey, I'm good to go, I can level up, and then you upgrade to like level 2, and then you can start posting level 2 related things within their level 2 categorized sections. But also once you hit like certain thresholds within the Discord, there is like classes that you can sort of take, so you can actually jump into like VC and ask like questions like in real time instead of having to wait, which is actually really nice. Like it treats it like a genuine course, and that's what I love about this, because it feels like I'm actually learning it and I'm not just going through the motions, if that makes sense. Anyway, enough gloating over the course that I'm doing. This is what we're gonna do. Essentially all this is doing is just saying, like I said, setting it up to take pictures of it, so you can show off your progress. So that's what we do. Now we're gonna go into window, and we're gonna go open up a new window, and then we are going to go to this corner here and go to compositor. And this is what I was talking about in, I think it was the Minecraft one. I mentioned it before. In Blender 5.0, this isn't here. Where it says use nodes, this doesn't exist. So I don't know exactly how that exactly works. In fact, I have like no extra stuff over here. But again, 4.2 should make things a little bit easier for us to follow through the course, since the courses aren't up to date with 5.0. At least not yet. They should. There's a lot of courses, and I think they work on more advanced stuff as they go. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna like sort of separate these a little bit, give us a little bit extra room, branch off the image here, and we are going to look for glare right there. We're gonna slap it, slap. Okay, fine, don't do the thing. We're just gonna do that. So once we have these connected, we are going to go ahead, and I think, yeah, see, you can actually see it right here actually. I don't want to like, no, maybe if I just make this smaller, so therefore we can see what's happening in real time. I don't think I need to make it super wide. So give me 1 sec. I'm just trying to make more room here so you can see exactly what is happening as I do it. So once I connected these two together, this is what it's looking like so far. Look, so, oh wait, now we're, okay, sorry, I scrolled down a little bit too far. So now with that, we're gonna go ahead and change from streaks to bloom. So now that, look how pretty that looks, right? Then we're gonna make the mix minus 0.900. Again, I also didn't have these options. Like I have been actually given more options, but mix has been removed, and I don't know what the equivalent is, if there is one. But like it looks much nicer this way. Again, I don't know what they did in 5.0. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, and that's only because I just don't understand what the changes are or what the equivalents are. Once I learn what the equivalents are, I'll use like more of the current versions of it, but right now I think I'm better off just using 4.2. Anyway, once that's done, we should just be able to exit out of that. See, we're gonna go to back to render, and we're gonna go down to color management, and we're gonna change the view transform to filmic, and we're gonna change the look to very high contrast. See? And we're gonna switch back over here. I'm over on the other page right now, so give me 1 second as I switch over to the next page. File save as. Make sure that you also do that if by chance you are managing to follow along for whatever reason, whether it be on here or on YouTube, because I also do post I also do post my VODs over on my YouTube channel as well underneath the same name. Actually, I might kind of see if I can find a way to promote that as well, maybe like, you know, making a command or a bot that pops up. But all my VODs get posted there, so therefore, like, you know, if you ever missed one and you don't have to worry about, like, you know, the time limited frame of the Twitch VODs, over on YouTube, that's where I post all my VODs. They're full length VODs, and we go from there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, we're gonna rename this to Blade, and then we're gonna go to slot one, there we go. We're gonna do add a new thing in slot 2, right? So that gave us an empty slot there. We're gonna click on this, go to Blade, and we're gonna essentially well, it's gonna be adding a new material, but we're gonna keep everything here. And the reason that we're doing that is because what we're doing is that this fall off over here, where you just have the runes, like, you know, just going all the way over to the tip of the blade. The idea is that we are getting rid of that. The runes are only going to stop right around here. It's not going to continue the rest of the way, and we're going to show you how exactly to stop that. So once you have that duplicated, we are going to go ahead and rename it again. So just click in the middle here, and we're just gonna name it Blade No Runes. Blade _ no _ runes. Capitalization doesn't mean anything, honestly. It's just something that I do whenever I do stuff like this. Whenever I follow a course, I do it almost like precisely. Then once you have the color over here, or not once you have the color, like the stripe that's attached to the color over here, we're gonna click on that, and we are going to reduce it to 0, right? Nothing happened, don't worry. There's a reason for it. It's just because what we're doing is we're about to go ahead and remove these, and it's fairly simple. So once you're in edit mode, you're going to go to faces, because we're going to select the faces that the excess runes are on. So we're going to shift click the top 2 right there. And once I get underneath this, we're gonna shift click these bottom 2. Right? And once those have been selected, we're gonna go to slot 2 and do Blade No Runes, and then we're gonna hit assign. Boom! Look at that. And now we don't have the excess runes falling off the blade. It stops right here, and it doesn't continue there. And then, was that the last 4, I think? I think so. So now that is it for the blade, which I think is actually really cool. I love how this looks. Next, we're gonna actually go ahead and work on the guard. So make sure that you are in object mode and select the guard. Then just hit the period on the number pad. If you don't want to do that, you can just go to views and then just do frame selected, and it'll do the same exact thing. Once you do that, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna click on this, and we're gonna do Blade No Runes. Right, so therefore so essentially just take the materials from here, but without the runes attached to it. But all we're really gonna do is, while this is selected, we're going to go ahead and click this right here, make another one, and we're going to rename it again. And we're gonna rename it to guard. Okay, and once you rename it to guard, you're gonna go to the principled BSDF right here. And we're going to change the color of it. So click on this. We're gonna change the hue to 0.080. The saturation, we're gonna change to 0.600. The value is going to be 0.300. And we're gonna leave the alpha just as is. And see, it gives it more of a copper look. And once that is done, we're gonna go to where the scratches here, and we're gonna change linear. Oh, sorry, not linear. We're gonna change flat to box. And look at that. Now the scratches look a bit more prominent on the blade. It looks more like authentic, but we're not done just yet. As we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the scale as well. And we're gonna put it as 0.500. Which changes the scaling of the scratches. And let's see, while it's still selected, we are going to do object, apply, and we're going to apply the scale yet again. And there you go. And this is essentially how everything is looking so far. So, we got the blade, we got the runes, and we got the guard down. Now we're going to be working on the handle itself. So what we're going to do, again, first file, save incremental. Then we're going to go ahead, select the handle there. We're going to click on new, because this is going to be a whole new section. So we're going to change the name of it to handle. Right, and this is just to keep it organized, so you can also, like, use, like, because like you saw earlier, if there's ever something that, like, you want to use the same nodes for, you can always just go into here, and then you can choose whatever one you already have, and then it will apply all the nodes to that specific material that you're trying to change, and then you can just make adjustments as you need it. And like, I feel like, it's self-explanatory as why you should name everything, but just to be sure. This is why I do pixel art. This hurts my brain. I mean, admittedly, it's a lot, but I've also done this specific project so many times, like so much so that I'm just kind of sick of looking at it. But like, again, it's over a course of like so long, because like I'll do it like 2 or 3 times, then I'll like not touch it again, and then I'll come back and do it again. And like, ultimately, if I stayed true to actually learning this, I should be able to do this with my eyes closed by this point, realistically. But I just happen to burn myself out of it. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm hoping that if I stream it more, it forces me to actually learn it better. Because I'm not gonna lie, streaming this has been more fun than to actually just do it alone, if that makes sense. Because like, I get to like show everyone like the process of it. Like, yeah, it's a lot to do, but like the end result is just like the coolest thing ever. And to show the process of it, I think it's just really cool, and I really like showing it off. Even like the small things like this, like when I first did just the basic stuff here, like I was like blown away. Like, there's far more complicated things that people do, but like for me, like the fact that when I did it, and when I did it on my own kind of stuff, I'm just like, oh my god, that's so fucking cool, that's amazing, I love this shit. Like, it kind of like adds a whole oh, we're gonna add mapping, and because you already searched it, mapping should be right here. We're gonna do that. It's just really cool, and I like talking about it and like boasting about it. Not necessarily what I can do, because all I'm doing is just following a course like by the book. So it's nothing like, it's not like these are original pieces. I'm just doing this to learn how these work. I would like to one day take a crack at making my own, doing for example, doing this project, but make my own blade. I would like to make Frostmourne. I think that'd be really cool. Then we're gonna go ahead, and from the vector here, we're gonna go ahead and do a texture coordinator, which we already do. It's right here. We're just gonna look for texture coordinate generated. We're gonna do that. And once we have all those set up, we're gonna go ahead and do open. We're gonna go into wherever you might have these saved, whatever you happen to make, blah, 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 wherever you happen to be getting these, because like I don't have the means to actually share these. And also I don't know if I should be sharing these at all, given the fact that these are from the course that I had to pay for. I'm just showing everything off. But what we're doing is we're going to choose the leather cord, and it's going to apply the leather texture to your handle here. It looks weird, don't get me wrong, we're gonna fix it, don't worry. So once you have that selected, it looks weird, it looks wrong. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the mapping where it says rotation, and we're gonna change the rotation on the y-axis to 90 degrees. And boom. It changed to 90 degrees, and now this is our texture. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the principal BSDF, go underneath specular, and the IOR level, we're going to change that to a value of 0. So it's gonna be that. There we go. Because I think what it's doing is that it's illuminating a light from the blade onto the handle when it shouldn't be doing that. And this level fixes that. It gets rid of that glare that you see across the handle there. And what's gonna be really cool is that in the next couple of courses, like those courses are probably gonna take me a couple of what am I thinking of? Streams to actually get through, because there's a lot to go through. But in that course, you'll see like some really cool stuff. It's a lot. Don't get me wrong, it is a lot. But the payoff is just so cool. File save incremental. Then we're gonna go ahead, and the rest of these that are the white, we're gonna go ahead and select the rings here. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including the pommel there. And also we're gonna make sure that it's this top part is going to be the bright orange highlight, not the dark orange. If by chance you see that this is dark orange, just go ahead, and if you just click on another part, like if you just click on the part that you want to change, it will just change it to like the priority. Essentially, this isn't prioritizing this part. So we have the rings and all of this other part selected, including the pommel. The pommel is a bright orange. Now what we're gonna do from here is, I keep scrolling down a little bit too far. We are going to go ahead and we're gonna go into here, and then we're going to go ahead and select guard. But you're gonna notice that only the top part went gold. Why do that? Well, don't worry, we're gonna fix it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into slot 1. We're gonna click on this arrow here, and we're just gonna click on copy material to selected. Boom. Now it's all the same, which is really cool. Now, why it does that, I don't really remember. If I'm being quite honest, I don't know why it does that. To be fair, I should probably like rewatch some of the videos, like, in my own time, just to like, get a refresher, because because I'm using a cheat sheet, and the cheat sheet just shows you the process of it, but the video explains a little bit more in detail as to what's happening. So once you do that, we're gonna go ahead and click off of it, and we're just gonna select the pommel at the top there. So what we're gonna do now is, while that's selected, we're gonna click on the new material option right here, the double papers. Click on that to make a new material, and then we're gonna go ahead and change it to pommel tip. So we're gonna change it to pommel _ tip. And then we're gonna go to the runes here again, and essentially what we're doing is that we're just changing the runes to a solo rune, right? But right now you don't see anything. Well, that's because our strength has been deteriorated. So we're gonna change that strength and bump it back up to 100, and boom, there we go. our rune is on our pommel now, but as you can see, it looks weird. It's repeating itself. It's huge. So how do we fix that? So what we do here is we go where it says runes again, the rune solo, and right where it says flat, we're gonna change sorry, not flat. We're gonna change repeat. Right where it says repeat, and we're gonna change that to clip. There we go. And then what we're gonna do from there is that we're gonna change the Y down to a 1. There we go. And then it moves it back up a little. Now, as you can see, it still looks weird. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do object, and we're going to apply, and we're just going to apply the scale. Boom, there we go. But as you can see though, what we want is we want the rune to be inside the pommel. So here's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna go to the next chapter. We're gonna file, save, file, save, file, save incremental, right? What we're gonna do then is we're gonna go back into the layout tab, right? Go back here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate the pommel tip with the inner pommel part here. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to essentially just like, you know, select, let me also just have it as a selecting tool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select all these, right? And then you can actually go even further than that, but there's something else that we can do to make it a little bit easier. We can go ahead and do select, and then we just scroll down till we see more or less. We just hit more, it goes out more. And then we just do it again until we get what we want. So we're just gonna do the whole thing. We're just gonna do more again. There we go. That way you don't have to, like, you know, highlight everything or do everything all at once. You can just do select more and then just do more, and then it'll just highlight the next strings around it. And once you have that, we're gonna go ahead and go to mesh. Scroll down to where it says, scroll down to where it says separate, and then you're gonna do selection. So separate by selection. There we go. Now, when we do this, we can select the pommel tip, and we can also select the inner pommel. So pommel and then inner pommel. These are two separate entities now. So once you have the middle one selected, we're gonna go back into shading. Where are you? Right here. And see, it's already kind of in there. We just need to now get rid of that. So what we're gonna do is we have the middle part selected. We're gonna go ahead and hit this again, make a new thing. We're gonna rename it. We're gonna name it to pommel rune. So POMMLEL_rune. And then we're gonna go ahead and select the pommel tip itself, and we're gonna reduce the strength to 0. And boom, look at that. The rune is now inside the pommel tip, and this is what our blade is looking like so far. Isn't that sick? I think it looks really cool. I love it. When I did this for the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I felt like I had to like share it everywhere. But being able to actually showcase, like, you know, the process to get to this point is just really cool to me. So this is what we got. And now, so the next part, we're just gonna go ahead and file, save incremental, save incremental. I think it just wants me to take a picture of it. I don't think I'm gonna, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do any of that. We're just gonna go into the next chapter. Then what we're gonna do is there's a bunch of downloadable kits, part of the course. It's a bunch of rocks. Essentially what it is, it's a rock kit. So we're gonna have rocks that are going to be, that's gonna make up the cave, and we're gonna have rocks that's gonna make up the stones that the blade is stuck in. And it's gonna, and this is where it gets, I would say, more complicated. I would say everything we did up until this point was the easy part. Now, this part, I would say, going forward, is where it's going to get a bit more complex. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the layout tab, and you'll see what I mean by complex, right? We're gonna go to the layout tab. We're going to go to view, and then we're gonna go to quad view. Right? And what we're gonna do here is all we're really doing is just sort of like fixing this, making it try to match the blueprint behind there. So what we'll do is highlight everything here. No, I don't want the guard. I want just this. There we go. I just want that. Actually, no, I don't. I won't. Actually, no, yeah. We'll just highlight everything. There we go. Get all that. We're gonna go ahead and scale it, and we're just gonna scale it a little bit to match the width a little bit better, like that, I would say. And then we can take the rings here, grab it a little bit. We can move it up, make it like that, scale it out a little bit more, maybe like, it might also be easier over on here just so I see what I'm doing. So the green, there we go. And this part right here doesn't need to be perfect per se, because I know that doing this, there we go. Then we're gonna scale that a little bit. We're gonna mess with this part. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna also make it a little bit wider. Right. So yeah, I can probably move it back a little bit. Very little bit, actually. I think right there is perfect. Actually, I think that's pretty good, actually. I might be able to play with this a little bit more, maybe. And I mean a very little bit, like a very smidgen. There. I think that's good. Like, the handle isn't going to be 100% perfect. I think the blueprint's a little bit straight, and also because, like, I've already kind of did this a little bit, and it's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. But I think that is what we're going for. I think that looks pretty decent. Let me see. Then we're gonna go to the next chapter. And we're gonna save everything again. Save incremental. Then we're gonna leave the quad view. There we go. And essentially what we're gonna do, we're gonna organize everything a little bit first. Before we go any further, we're gonna organize everything. So what we're gonna do is everything that's underneath selection, we're gonna go ahead and minimize that. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make a couple more selections here, or collections. We're gonna do that up to 5, and we're gonna go ahead and also rename them. So you don't need to worry about the first collection here, but we can go ahead and change to collection number 2. We can make that sword. Collection 3, we can make background. Collection 4 can be volumetrics, and 5 will be effects, like that. And what I'm going to do here is essentially take everything that's here, specifically from the cube all the way down to the torus is what we're essentially grabbing, except for the light. We're not grabbing the light. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can grab this easier. There we go. So we have everything but the light selected. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna click and drag it into the sword. Once I don't mess it up like I just did. There we go. Why is it being dumb? There we go. And sword. Now everything's underneath. Now everything that makes up the sword is now underneath the sword collection. Just, you know, it wants to be finicky a little bit. Just, I find it easier just to click it onto the little triangle thingies here. So yeah, so everything's underneath the sword collection now. We're gonna go ahead and minimize that. Then for the sword reference, technically speaking, we can just kind of hide it. What we're gonna do, hold on, I'm trying to blah, blah, blah. I think I'm looking too far ahead. Collection, sword reference, minimize that. I think what I want to do is take the sword reference and put it underneath the scene collection, I think. Yes. And then we're just gonna go ahead and hide the sword reference because we don't need it. We don't need the sword reference anymore because the sword reference was just a blueprint, and we can just go ahead and hide that. Once that's done, we go into collection and we're gonna rename this rendering, which is the camera and the light. And now we're going to learn about parenting, the parent and the child, essentially. What we're doing, what it's going to do essentially for us is it's going to make the entire blade one object. Instead of having everything be individually selected, once we parent it all together, it's going to be one solid object that would act in unison. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Sorry about that. So real quick, we're gonna file, save incremental. Then we're gonna go ahead and select these. And we're just gonna go ahead and select the blade as the main part. So make sure that the blade is highlighted bright orange while everything else is dark orange. Then we're gonna go into object. We're gonna go down to where it says parent right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and click on object. And there we go. And what is interesting is that everything is now underneath one entity. If you click on that, it's going to show you everything that's on here. All the modifiers, the cube, the cylinders, the toruses, all that, all underneath this one thing right here. And what that essentially just means is that if I choose, like if I click on the blade and I like move it around, the whole thing moves with it. Like that. And then what we're gonna do is I think we're just gonna change. We're gonna change the rotation to 90 degrees. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the blade, select object, the object's over here, I mean. Make sure you choose the square part, and then we're gonna go ahead and make the rotation 90 degrees, and then the Z-axis 90 degrees as well. And there we go. Our blade is now standing up. Also, just a little fun thing is at the top up here, we'll also change how everything looks. And this is right now how everything looks right now, which is really cool. But if your computer is not strong enough, it might lag a little bit on these settings, which is why I'd recommend that you just play around it with everything grade. Which is actually my preferred way of doing things anyway. But if you don't want these to be parented again though, all you gotta do is just go into just have everything selected again. No, not the light. And you're just gonna go into object, back to parent, and then you're just gonna go to clear parent right here. I'm not gonna do it, but if that's what you wanted to do, you could. Like, you know, if you didn't want them to be parented anymore, that's how you do it. So I'm not gonna do it though, because we want them to be together like that. All right, now this is gonna be interesting because now we go file, save, fuck. Save incremental is what I wanted. So now we're gonna go to the animation tab. And this is what it's all gonna look like. Yay. Ironically enough, this is the tab that I want to learn the most of. I don't know when that's going to be exactly. I think that's actually in the 4th course. I say 4th, but technically like the 6th, but like I combined the 3rd course in one. Like no, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th courses in one because it's the same project, just separated in 3 separate courses. Anyway, what we're gonna do is once we're here, we're gonna go ahead and click on this printer looking thing that says output. Then we're going to go ahead and change the resolution. We're gonna make it look well, we're gonna change the resolution to something a bit weaker. It's just so you can see everything better. Also render quicker, render easier this way. So we're changing the resolution to 860 by 1080 at 100%. Then we're gonna go ahead over here on this side of the screen, click on the hamburger looking thing, the 3 lines, view, and we're gonna go down to cameras, and we're gonna select active camera. Then we're gonna go over here and press N, and it's gonna open up this menu here. We're gonna go to where it says view, and we're going to do camera to view. Right, and then we're just gonna hit N again. But right, so essentially that's what we're gonna want in the end. This is how it's gonna look. Do I need anything else here real quick before I move on? Because again, this is kind of sort of where it gets a little wonky. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything real quick. Give me 1 second. Got view, active camera, and view, camera to active. Okay, yeah, no, we're good with that now. But yeah. Then okay, we're gonna go ahead and save incremental. We're gonna make sure that the camera is selected, and we're gonna adjust the positioning of the camera, right? So right now it's this. We don't want that. What we want is something a bit more streamlined. What we want is 3, then these 2 at 0, and then the rotation is going to be at 104 degrees. Y you don't touch, and then the Z is going to be at 90 degrees. There you go. That way it's viewing the sword head on. Because what we're going to want to do, what we're wanting to do is we're wanting for the camera to essentially do a sort of I'm trying to think of the name of the shot, but essentially it's just going to be a gradual like descend. So it's going to start off at the top, and then as it goes down, you're going to see the am I sick? Not quite. I just have a really nagging cough sometimes. It's been kind of annoying, but I feel fine overall. Just annoying. But it's gonna slowly, descend down the sword, so you can see it a little bit better, and it's gonna zoom out a bit. That's what we want, or at least that's the end goal anyway. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these, and we're just gonna lock these into place. Then we're gonna have the sword selected, and we're gonna change the scaling of it to fit within, whoopsies, to fit within the camera view. So what we're gonna do is change all that to 0.230. Just in the scale, go to XYZ, change all of that to 2.230, and boom, it's within the shot of the camera. Then we're gonna go ahead, go back to view, and we're gonna go to frame all. just to make sure that it's within the correct frame. There we go. Then we're gonna make sure that this is selected again. We're gonna go to the camera, which is down here. And we're gonna change the focal length, maybe. Oh, okay. So the focal length wants to be, that's right. It wants to be 50 millimeters. If it's not 50 millimeters, go ahead and just change it to 50 millimeters. Otherwise, you are good to go from what I'm looking at, and we should be fine. And there is this rule of thirds, essentially. I don't know. Maybe I could be showing off a little bit. So this is what it looks like. The rule of thirds is that you just want to make sure it's all centered out, essentially. Like, I don't want to keep that up for too long. But that's essentially what I'm looking at. It's sectioned off into bite-sized chapters. So once you do that, we're gonna go ahead and do file, save, file, oopsies, save incremental. We're gonna go to scene collection, I mean, and we're gonna do file, append, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into Sword in the Stone. I think it's in part 3 this time. No, it's not. I lied. Stone part 2. Oh wait, no, it's not. I lied. I lied again. I'm a liar. Shush. We're gonna do the rock hit blend is what we're doing. We're adding the rocks into the scenes. So, rock hit blend. It's underneath collection. Then we're gonna select all those, append, and we have all the rocks within the scene now. Now we just got to go ahead and start setting it up. So now all the rocks have been appended to the kit, which are now over here. Rocket ground, instance, layout, all right here now. But for the rocket instance, we can go ahead and minimize that and just sort of hide it for the time being. Just so it doesn't distract us, because we're gonna focus just right now on the ground and the rocks around it right now. What the instance is gonna be is that it's what's gonna make it look like, yeah, it's what's gonna make it, the rock hit instance is what's gonna make it look like a cave. So for right now, one step at a time, we're gonna go ahead and click this. Damn it. Stop it. There we go. We're gonna go down to where it says random, so therefore it's all color coded and a little bit easier to look at on the eyes. And thankfully though, I have a drink next to me and I need to start drinking it more. It's not like it's water or anything like that. I have a Celsius. But you know, it does its job. Okay. Again, file, save incremental. And just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna scroll all the way down and just get the correct dimensions for everything. Essentially what it wants you to do is wants you to do this, like, you know, by hand, and just sort of like move everything, like, you know, and like they gave you the dimensions for it. But just for the sake of time, we're just gonna go ahead and just select the small one first. We're gonna change that to 0.02. Change this to 0. And then we're gonna change the Z location to 0.27. There we go. And these don't get touched. Everything else is fine the way it is. Then the next one, we're gonna go ahead and grab the green rock over here. And then we're gonna change that one to 0.2. This is gonna get changed to 0.04. And then the Z location is gonna change to a negative 0.25. And then the scale, the only one we're gonna change is the Y scaling and make that a 0.750. Just like that. And then the last one, the big rock here, the one that's that weird turquoise looking color, we're gonna go ahead and change the location to 0.4 on the x-axis. The Y, we're gonna change to a negative 0.08. And then on the Z, we're gonna change it to a 0.17. And then on the scale, we're going to change it to 0.850 on the Y, and on the Z, it'll be a 0.4. And I want to make sure. Oh, whoops. That's my bad. This is supposed to be a negative 0.17, not a positive 17. That's why it looked weird. There we go. That's better. That looks much better. Essentially what you want to do is that you just want to make it look more like a kind of like a triangle sort of situation. And like I said, just for the sake of timing, I just put in the numbers just for the sake of timing. So we're gonna go move on to the next section. So we're gonna file, save incremental. Be reminded to drink as I don't feel thirsty at all. It's weird. No, I'm the same way, honestly. Like, I don't like, unless if it's like in front of me. And it's weird because like I'll drink more when I go out to a restaurant, but not like I do at home. Like, I think it's because, like, you know, I get so distracted that I'm not thinking about eating or drinking. Like, if I'm like really hyper focused in on something, I can go all day without having a sip of water or a bite of food. Like, I just, you know, you just don't, like, you know, feel those things sometimes when, like, you know, you're like, especially if, like, you know, you're really locked in, you know what I mean? But no, I completely get you. I completely, like, I can be the same way. Background. We're gonna do add a mesh, and we're gonna make a cube. There we go. This is where it gets weird, right? Because what we're gonna do is that the cube is going to act like our, you'll see what I mean. I don't know how to really explain its words without showing you, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just show you what I mean. So once we have the cube set up, we're gonna go into the object thing over here. And we're gonna go ahead and change the scaling, and we're essentially going to exaggerate these by going to 7.5, making it huge, right? Now, we're gonna go ahead and go into the modifier while the cube is selected. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a subdivision surface modifier for the cube, which makes it this weird oblong looking shaped thing. I don't know how you want to describe that shape, but regardless, make it subdivision surface. You're going to make it 2 in the lazy viewport section, right? Give it more dimensions to work with. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click on this arrow and we're going to hit apply. And once we do that, we're going to make sure that we are oriented this way. And there's a reason for this. All right, we're gonna go ahead and click on the X-ray so we can see through it. And then we're gonna go ahead into edit mode. And we're gonna make sure that we are on the faces selection. Because what we're gonna wanna do is the first half of this, like the front half, you select it. And also what's good to know is that whatever you originally had selected in object mode, when you go into edit mode, this is the only thing that will be interactable. So like, it doesn't matter if there's lights or a camera within the edit mode as well. If this is the object that's selected, nothing else will be interacted with. So once you have the first, like the front half of this highlighted, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit X on the keyboard, and we're gonna hit click on faces to delete them. There we go. And then once we do that, we're gonna go ahead and delete. Ooh, that's ew. We're gonna delete those as well, doing the same exact thing. X, faces, delete, and boom. There we go. And essentially what this is doing, this is setting a sort of, what's the word? This is what's gonna help the rock kit instances create that cave look. And you'll see by the end of it how it's gonna come all together. So we're going to do file, save incremental. Then we're going to go into edit mode, right? there was our square turned circle and then turned a half circle. Now this is the part that has always made me not nervous, but like overwhelmed. Thankfully, we don't do a whole lot here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the geometry node section. This section can we don't need to worry about anything, thankfully, just what's in this frame down here. So once we're in this section, we're gonna go ahead, click the camera icon here. So we get into the view, we get into that view. We're going to go ahead, go here and click on random so we can see everything that, all the colors and everything like that. We are going to go into background, click on the cube background right there. That way it's selected, and then we're going to click on new. It's so now, because the cube is now selected, the part that's making up the background here, the geometry node is going to work using what we have already established. So once we have these here, we're going to start essentially adding the rock hits here into play. So we're going to go file, save incremental. Right, we're gonna make sure, just to be sure, I'm just gonna click off of it and then just click back on. We're at cube 0.001, that's the one underneath background. We're going to go to object and we're going to apply scale. Right? Okay, yes. I just want to make sure I did it in the right spot. Then we're gonna go down here. And what we're gonna do is we're essentially just gonna go view, frame selected, which is essentially what these are, right? Like essentially that's all we're gonna do. We're just like that. Then we're going to disconnect this, drop it, right? Now, as you can see, the cube disappeared. That's because there's nothing connecting the two. The input isn't going to the output to show us what the image is. But what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna take this, branch it out to here. We're gonna look for transform. And we're going to specifically look for the geometry version. We're going to look for that. All right, I'm going to space it out a little bit. I don't remember how much this is going to need, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to do transform geometry. Now we have that, and now we're just going to go ahead and take this and put it in here. Boom, we have our cube back. Then once we have that, we're going to play around in the scale. In the scale, we're going to make it at 0.2. Boom. There we go. Now it is, now we just change the scale to make it look a little bit smaller. And then we're gonna go ahead and go to file, save incremental. Again, just to make sure that if it were to crash on us right now, we won't have hours lost. So now we're gonna do this, delete it, right? Select this, move it out a ways, move this out a ways. Give us some room to work with, right? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look for this. Essentially, I think we're making our network essentially. So we're gonna do that and we're gonna connect these two together, right? Boom. Now you have a whole bunch of dots, and that is exactly what we're looking for, right? Then we're gonna branch it out again. And we're gonna look for instance on points right here. And once we have that selected, we're gonna go ahead and just have that down here, right? And it's gone, and that's fine too. It disappeared, but that's only because we don't have anything telling this what it is that we're doing or what we're interacting with. So what we're gonna do is go down here, and we're gonna look for cube mesh. Boom. There we go. Now it looks weird, right? It looks very odd, but that is fine. That's exactly what we want. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these and put it at 0.5. All right. We don't need to touch the rest of those. Everything else can just be at 0.5. And then let's move this a little bit out of the way. From rotation, we're going to want to do random, right? Because it's going to do a random value. And see, it's, as you can see that it's starting to take shape. It's starting to do something, And that's, again, this is exactly what we want. So this is what we're looking at so far. It's a lot. It's a lot of like branching out with things, but I promise you, it's gonna look really good by the end of it. I'm just trying to organize it a little bit better to make it look nicer. Okay, now, but what we haven't done yet is that we haven't added the rocks to our scene yet. So this is what we're gonna do. Where it says distribute on points, where it says density, we're gonna change the density to a value of 1. There we go. Once we do that, we're gonna also go to the random value, and we're gonna change this part where it says minimum or min, and we're gonna change that to all -1s. So -1. All right. All that does is just change the orientation of everything, and that's perfectly fine. Then on the cube, we're going to go ahead and we are actually going to delete this node, right? Because we don't need that. What we need is we're going to go here and we're going to look for collection info. And once we have the collection info, we're going to go ahead, we're going to click on this, and we're going to look for rock hit instances. And now our rock hit instances, which is this right here, now this is where our whole the cave is going to essentially get put together. It's really cool. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and make sure that the separate children and reset children are both active and they're all meshing together. Again, that's fine. We are going to fix it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn on pick instance, right? That way they are separated a little bit better. Then we're going to go to the scale and do 1.5, right? Again, looking a little bit better. Don't get me wrong. We're going to get there. The seed we're going to put in, it's on the random value. No, that's a lie. It's on the distribution of on faces. We're going to make that a 12. And that is exactly how we kind of want this to look. Essentially, at least you can have it look however way you want. You can actually mess with the seed, make it look however way you want. According to the course, this is pretty much how it's going to want to look. Later when we do lights, it's going to shine right through this crack here. And you'll see what I mean with that. And right now, this is everything that is supposed to look. Everything is right where it should be. It's kind of wild considering that it all started with just this sword. That's what always blows my mind, is that it started off with a square or with a cube on the screen. And look at where we are now, and I just love the process of it. It's so cool. Then we're gonna go to the rocket ground and select the ground. Right, we're gonna do that. There we go. We're essentially just gonna blow this up. We're just gonna make it look massive. So, because we need to make it look like a ground. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do new. We're gonna just separate these out a little bit. There we go. Disconnect these two together. And then we're gonna work backwards. We're gonna start with this over here. And we're gonna look for grid. And it's gonna be the grid mesh here. Right there. Then we're gonna work on the sizes. So for the X and Y size. Oh, that's how I wanted. There we go. Sometimes I just go in the wrong direction, but there we go. Change it to 10. We're gonna exaggerate it. Now it's a huge mass square. But we're gonna change it a little bit more than that. So now we're gonna take it from the mesh. We're gonna branch out. Again, distribution on face. Do that. And then we're gonna want to connect these 2 points together like that, right? Again, we have all these dots. We're on the right path, don't worry. Then we're gonna go ahead and go into density and change that to a 1.5, right? to reduce the amount of dots that we got that's laying around. Then gonna branch off from here to look for instance on points. And we're gonna go ahead and connect those together. And then we're gonna take this, move it over here, and we're gonna connect this to instance. Boom. Now look at that. That looks more like a cave floor to me. At least a little bit more than what it was. Then I'm gonna move everything out of the way actually. We're gonna do rotation, branch that out as well. And we're gonna look for random. Again, just the same thing that we pretty much did with the rocks. Once we got the random value out, we're gonna make it look neater. Don't worry, it's gonna look much better. So at the random value, at the max, everything to that one, what we're gonna want to do is change the last minimum to a -1. And then we want to change the first two of the max to just a solid 0. So it looks like that. Now it looks better, right? See? Isn't that so cool? I don't know. I think like small things like that just looks really cool to me. Then we're gonna go ahead, file, save, files, fuck. File, save incremental. There we go. Okay. Now we are gonna work on the rim light. Rim light, volumetrics. We're gonna look at this is okay. So if I was doing this on my own, I would have never guessed this, right? We are working on lights, but the way that this has you do it, I would have never guessed this is how you would work with lights. So yes, we're gonna be working with this light here, but it's gonna be it's so much more than that. It's crazy. So after you save, we're gonna go to an animation tab, right? There we go. I don't know why that was on. We're gonna go ahead and go into this. Right, this is what we're looking at. This is what everything looks like, the rock in detail and everything like that. This is without the light. So here's what we're gonna do. And again, I'm probably gonna just sort of for sake of time, probably have to just, what am I looking for? It's over here. Go to always. There we go. Now that's glowy. Once you scroll down a little bit more, because now we okay, now we're gonna go ahead and work on the light. If I have to, I will just plug in the locations and everything like that just to save some time. Because I wasn't aware how long this was actually going to take. I thought that we would be able to actually start the next thing, but if not, that's fine. My goal right now is, if I don't finish this, I'll finish this up definitely tomorrow or the next time that I stream this. We're gonna do save incremental. For background, we are gonna go ahead and just hide it. It's just so we can see the spot where the light's gonna go, where it's how bright it is, things like that, without the interference of the background. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna select our light here. That one, my own spit went down the wrong pipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on the light bulb, right? And we're going to change the power, and bring it up to 2000, right? And if you saw it get brighter over here. So what we're gonna do now is that we're also gonna change the color of the lights to make it to give it a more warmer look. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to hue and do 0.075, go to saturation and do 0.410, and leave the value as is. That way it gives us a warmer light after it, Then for the radius, we're gonna go from 0.1 to a solid 1. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and customize our distance. And our distance is going to be 5 meters instead of 40. Which means that all we gotta do is that we just got to like, it just gives us a smaller range of light with stronger power of it. So once we do that, we're gonna go ahead and essentially just move this down a little bit. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to move it. There we go. Like, I think somewhere around here ish. It's hard to say exactly where it is on the I think right around there. Maybe I can raise it a little bit, make it a little bit higher. Something like that maybe, or lower maybe. Like that, something like that. But that's essentially what we're going for, I would say. Like that. I think that's a good spot. So next we're gonna go ahead again, file, save, incremental. Then we're gonna select the light again. What we're gonna do, okay, we have actual locations for this right now, so we're gonna go ahead and just plug that in instead of playing around with it. So the location for it is going to be -1. If you want to play around with it too, like, you know, you don't have to follow these exact metrics. Wherever you feel like, you know, gives off the better lighting, or however, whatever mood you're trying to set, go for it. This is just what I'm doing. We're gonna change that all to 0 and leave everything as is. Just want to make sure that this is all also good real quick, just double checking, make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Custom distance. There is a couple things here that aren't on this one, but that's fine because they don't have a whole lot here messed with anyway. All the important stuff has been changed, so that's all that matters. All right, there we go. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna essentially copy and paste the light and have 2 light sources. So save incremental. We're gonna go ahead and select that. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And then, hold on, I'm gonna move this up here with the other light. We're gonna go ahead and rename these. So we have light key, and we have light rim. Whoopsies. Rim. There we go. And it doesn't matter which one I guess you use for this, technically speaking. But because all we're doing, it's the same thing, we're just moving one of them away. One of them is going to stay with the same thing that we already had. The other ones we were going to change. So what we're going to do with this one is I'm going to take the light key. We're going to go ahead and change. I think the hue stays the same. Yes. But we are going to change the power of this one to 100 instead. And then the radius is going to get changed to 0.5. Then the custom distance will go to 2 meters instead of 5 as well. Then the location of this light will be, instead of -1, it'll be 0.6. The y-axis on the location will be 1. And the z-axis will be 1.6. We don't need to worry about the rotation or the scale. That is where it's supposed to be like that. Gives it more light, and honestly right now it is looking spiffy, if you ask me. Okay, now we're gonna do file, save, incremental. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go into volumetrics. This is where this, I think, is a part that gets really like wild to me. And I would say that this part can be a little overwhelming as well, because like it is just like, what the fuck? So what we're gonna do is in volumetrics, make sure that volumetrics is selected, excuse me. And we're gonna go ahead and hit add mesh, and we're gonna add a cube. Okay. Once we have the cube, we are going to name it depth, right? You might be wondering like, why are you naming it depth? You'll see. This is where like I was like completely mind blown. I don't know if I completely even understand exactly how or why this works, but the fact that it works this way is actually kind of wild to me. So what we're gonna do is we are going to make sure to have that selected, go down to your animation tool down here, and we're going to go to this left hand bar here that says general, move it down to shader editor. That it just gives us the shader editor the box thing. Once you have that, we're going to go ahead and click on view, and Jesus, that felt like there was a hair in my throat. But we're gonna remove the sidebar, give us more room to work with, right? So make sure your cube is selected. We're gonna click on new, right? Zoom in on that shit. And we're gonna rename this volume depth. All right, once we have that, right? You're gonna frame select it like I just did, zoom in on it so you can see it a little bit easier. We don't need the principled BSDF, at least not right now. I don't remember if we need it or not, but we're just gonna go ahead and delete it, right? Delete that. Now we're gonna take the volume from this, and we're gonna look for volume scatter, and click on that, and that's what we're gonna want. This is what I'm talking about. It was a solid cube, and all you got to do is just do this, and you get what looks to me to be like fog. And it's crazy because like if I was trying to do this on my own with no courses, that's something I would never ever consider of doing. So it's really cool that it works this way. So once we do that, we're gonna change the density, right? I think I can actually do the same thing up here so that we can see it. See, it's like, it's weirdly see-through, but I love it. It's so cool. So then we're gonna change the density to 0.150. 0.150. There we go. Like, oh God, it's so cool. Then it's wild that I still find this cool though. Like I love it. I really do love it. It's one of those things I wish I got into when I was actually like in high school. Like I kind of wish I got more into like this stuff, but it's fine. It's never too late. I just wish I got an earlier start is all I wish. So negative 4.5 on the location of X. We're going to leave the Y location the same, but we're going to change the Z location 2.2. All right. Rotation we keep out, and then we're going to change all the scaling X, Y, and Z, and change that to 3.5. Boom. Like, look how wild that looks. It's so, I'm sorry. Like, I'm acting as if like, no, I've never done this before, even though I have done this several times before. I just can't get over just how cool it looks. That's all. All right. So then we're going to do file, save incremental. Right, then, you know, click on, make sure that depth is selected, and we're going to essentially just copy and paste it, right? Copy, paste, right? Now we have more depth, but we're not gonna keep it as depth. We're gonna name it to light rays, or sorry, light ray. And then once the light ray is selected, we're gonna go down here, change this to light ray as well. And then we're gonna change the density to light ray from 0.150 to a flat out 1. Right? But we're not done yet because, like, you know, we gotta change some dimensions of it, right? It's not gonna stay the same. So we gotta change this from not, instead of negative 4.5, we're gonna change it to a negative 1.4 within the X location. Negative 1.4 that is. We're leaving the Y axis alone in that location, but we're gonna change the Z axis location to 1.8. Right? And then the rotations we actually do mess with. We're gonna change the X rotation to 16.5. We're gonna change the Y location to a negative 28. And the Z location we're gonna change to a negative 7. And then the scale we're gonna change to 0.250. That's on the X. On the Y, we're gonna change the scale to a 4.1. And on the Z, we're gonna change it to a 0.2. Right? And as you can see the light being scattered in the background on the left-hand side here. And I just, oh my God, it's so cool. So cool, so cool. I love it. Then once that's done, we are going to go ahead and we're going to go and copy and paste it again. Right? And we're going to make the second light ray. Right? Light ray. Just make sure that is properly selected. We're going to go ahead and change the location of that a little bit more as well. So we're going to make a 1.2. We're going to keep Y untouched. We're going to make the Z location to 1.2. So you have a negative 1.2 in the X and a positive 1.2 in the Z of the location. You're going to keep the rotations the same, but the scale is going to change. So on the X scale is going to be a 1. The Y scale is going to stay the same, but the Z scale is going to change to a 0.12. And this is what we got so far. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and file, saving our incremental. Now we're going to go down here and we're going to go from object to world. Okay. And what we're going to do is that we're going to take the background here and we are going to branch out from color and we're going to look for environment texture. This one right here. I know it looks crazy right now. Don't worry. It's going to all be fixed. So what we're going to do is that we're going to click on open, right? And we're going to go back into the Sword and Stone here. We're going to go into HDRI. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose the narrow path _ blur. There we go. Again, I don't know where exactly to find any of these. If you can, that's awesome. Go for it. Use what you can. This is just what I'm given in the course. So that's what we got. And that's what it's looking like so far. Now, what we're going to do from there, after you've done that, is we're going to go branch out from vector and look up mapping. And do the mapping vector. Boom. Right, so now we have mapping out. I gotta scroll out just a little bit more just so I can see everything. And we're gonna branch out mapping vector again. This time we're gonna get a texture coordinator, which you've seen already before. Gonna be the same thing again. And there we go. And this time we're gonna go into the mapping And underneath rotation, on the Z rotation, we're gonna make it a negative 90 degrees. There we go. God, lighting. Look, I've gushed about this before because like you really get to see the power of lighting in the next course. But my God, lighting is so cool. Like it really like helps make a scene come together. Like look how good that looks. So that's all we gotta do for that. Next, and then after that, what we're gonna do, again, save incremental. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna reveal the background again, right? And what we're gonna do now is while background is selected, we're going to go ahead and add a plane mesh. God damn it. There we go, plane mesh. And we're gonna name that to exterior light. There we go. And then once we do that, we're gonna go ahead and play around with the scaling. So what's gonna be is that the location is gonna be located at -10 on the X. And then nothing else gets changed from there. On the rotation, on rotation Y, you're going to change that to a -90. There we go. And then on the scale, you're going to essentially just exaggerate it up to a 10 on all accounts. Once you have that set up, you're going to go ahead and go from world to object again. So if you go back down to down here, go to the left-hand corner, go to world, and go to object. You're gonna change it back to this. And you're gonna click on new, make a new object. And you're gonna change the name to this to exterior light. No, you're fine. By all means. I just appreciate that you guys are like hanging out and just actually kind of enjoying this. Cause like, I'm like, I know I keep like, you know, I'm acting like a kid in the candy shop sometimes. It's just that like when everything comes together like this and like this is like the result, it's just so cool to me. So I hope that my like, you know, excitement and interest of it isn't like, you know, jarring or anything like that, despite the fact that I've done this numerous times already. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh my God, this is, oh God, it's one of those things I don't think I'll ever get over with how cool it looks. But anyway, you change the name to exterior lighting. All right, select the principal BSDF, and we're going to go ahead and delete that again. We don't need it. We're going to, I'm going to move this over just a little bit. From the surface node, we're going to go ahead and branch out, and we're going to look for emission. There we go. So we got emission out. It's connected. Thank you. I appreciate that. So once we have emission out, we're going to go ahead and we are going to increase the strength up to around about 50. And I don't know if you can really see it on stream all that well, but you can even see right here that there is light coming through this crack here, which is really cool. Then we're going to go ahead and change out the colors a little bit, make it a bit more, I think it's just to match it. So we're going to change the hue to 0.080. We're going to change the saturation to a 0.4 and call it a day there. And that's it. Yeah. I know 2 hours is usually my go-to, but I think I'm going to at least finish up the sword. So therefore next time when I come back to this, we can go ahead into a brand new project. So I still have a ways to go yet though. Like there's a lot yet to do. So once this is done, file, save, file. Fuck, I keep missing that. Save incremental. There we go. Then we're essentially going to test the render is what we're going to do. So we're going to make sure that everything that we need on is visible. We don't need the reference and we don't really need the instances. But all we're going to do is we're going to go up here to where it says render and we're just going to render an image. And this is what it looks like so far. Like this is from the viewpoint of the camera. This is what it's going to look like. And my God, it looks gorgeous. I absolutely love this. So once that's done, we are going to go ahead and do compositor setup. So when you go to the compositing tab, there we go. And once we're here, we're going to go ahead and use nodes is already active, so we don't have to worry about that. Go to view, and we can go ahead and hide the sidebar just to give us more room to work with. Then we're just going to go ahead and zoom in on everything. Frame select everything. I actually don't think I need the glare for this one. What I'm going to do is, just in case, I'm going to just disconnect it, and I'm just going to like leave it over here for the time being and just connect these two together. Right? If you see this glare node, simply right click. Okay, no, we can delete it. Okay. Just straight up delete it. That's completely fine. That it even says that if the glare node is there, we can actually delete it, so we're good. We can go ahead and leave it as is. Then we're going to do a backdrop setup. So we're going to go ahead. Whoopsies. I just want to kind of give me a little more space here. So from render layers, we're going to go ahead and branch out from that node, and we're going to look for viewer, and we're going to look for viewer image essentially. There we go. And then once we have that, we are going to go ahead and go to view, and we're going to click on fit backdrop to available space. And then we're going to do view again and do backdrop move. And we're essentially just going to move it off to the side here. Just like that. Damn it, I keep misclicking. It's testy a little bit. So now once we have that, they're both connected. Oh, it actually wants me to do this. Don't really remember if it really matters, but we're going to do this anyway. So once we got that, we're going to go ahead. Actually, I think that's about it actually from that. Here we go. Okay, so on to the next part. Again, file, save incremental. Once you go there, okay, here we go. Here's more stuff. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna add the glare node now. So glare, make sure that's here. All right, now that that's in play, we're gonna branch out from glare, and we're gonna look for color balance image. We're gonna look for this. And once we do that, we're going to go ahead and take from here and go from here. So we're essentially connecting them both together. Just like that. So we're going to change the streaks. I think we're going to keep it as the... oh, no, we're going to change it to ghost. So change it to ghost, I think. Right? You have a ghost? Yeah, no, that's what it says here, ghost. Then we're going to change the, what is it? A color MO, whatever this one is, whatever that means, color, whatever. We're going to change that to a 0.500. And we're going to change the mix to a negative 0.95. Well, 950. There we go. And as you can see, like, you know, it's actually looking much better than what it did before. Like a lot. Then hold on, let me just catch up to what I need to do here. Okay, so then we're going to change the colors over here. So the hue is going to be 0.550 for the lift section of the color balance. So 0.550, 0.300 for the saturation, and then the value of 1 stays the same there. Next, we're going to go into the gammas, and this is going to change the hue here to 0.060. Then we're going to change the saturation to 0.4. And then the value is going to be a 1.2. And then then I don't think we actually touched the last one. The only other thing that we changed would be the FAC, which changed to 0.750. And there we go. And this is what we have right now. God, it's looking absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. File, save, files, save incremental. And then, oh, we have more stuff to do over here. So once we have all that set up, we're gonna go ahead into the render again. Let's see, samples at 128. The render is also gonna be 128 as well. That's what we need to change here. So the viewport samples 128, the render samples are also gonna be 128. And then you're gonna go down to, what is it? It's underneath the volumes. So go down to volumes. We're gonna change the resolution to 1:2. Custom range 64.816. Yep, all that is good. And then we're gonna go ahead into color management, which is down here. And this is going to get changed to Filmic, very high contrast, which is what we already have. And then we can render a new image. And boom. This is what we got so far. Then we can go ahead, image, save as. I'll post it. I'll put it in the Sword in the Stone for now. I'll just actually make a new folder for Sword in the whoopsies in the Stone images. Don't think it really matters, but you know, just for the sake. And we'll just name it Sword in the Stone and just save it as image. There we go. And you know what? We do have a lot more stuff to do. I can probably... No, there is a whole lot more to do, actually. More than I thought. All right. I know I said that I was probably gonna finish it up this time around, but I think I'm just gonna end it here, actually. That way, it gives me more stuff to work with for next time. And next time we should be able to start the next one. At least that will be my next goal anyway. Because what we gotta do next is we gotta add the electricity to the sword, make it look magical, and we need to also get a walking image as well. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, honestly, I think this is actually a pretty good stopping point right here. I actually feel comfortable with this. So with that being said, thank you all so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you all, and I had a lot of fun. So here's what we are going to do. We're going to go ahead and raid out. And I know exactly who we're going to raid out to as well. Give me 1 second. Because I haven't raided to them in the longest of times. And before I became a VTuber, they actually helped me out a lot. So I really appreciate them for everything that they've done. And I would like to go ahead and show my support to them. And yeah, no problem. And I hope that you really enjoy them. They're playing some Apex Legends right now, and they go by the name of Sleepy Llama, and she's awesome. She's helped me out a lot in the past. So I hope you guys have fun. And give me 1 second as I set up the raid to raid Sleepy Llama. There we go. And I really hope to see you guys in the next stream. I had a lot of fun. It was a really fun one again, and I hope to see you guys next time. I hope to do more tomorrow. We will see. I just typically like kind of go by. I'm trying to get more into a consistent stream thing. If anything, it's gonna be like 3 days a week, because like Thursdays I can actually stay up later, and Fridays, Saturdays I happen to be off. So I'm working on more consistent stream schedules. But until then, I hope to see you guys later, and you guys have a great day. Have some fun, be good, and I will see you guys next time. Okay? Bye.